The King defends his crown, a new middleweight champion will emerge, and it's high noon for Jorge Gurgel. This is the Fight Network's preview of Strikeforce Houston. Hey Fight fans, my name is John Pollock, and this is the Fight Network's preview of Strikeforce Houston, set for this Saturday night at the Toyota Center. 4 big fights are on tap for the main card, and Robin Black will be stopping by to break down all of those for you in just a couple of minutes. The Texas fans will get to see Bobby Lashley up close and personal and decide for themselves where he ranks among the heavyweight prospects in the sport. A new middleweight champion will be crowned in the post-Jake Shields era of Strikeforce, and our main event features the first light heavyweight title defense of one of the most charismatic fighters in the sport. The main event Saturday night in Houston, Texas will feature undefeated Muhammed Lawal making the first defense of his Strikeforce light heavyweight gold against 9-2 Team Nogueira prodigy Rafael Feijao Cavalcante. Lawal ascended to the top of the division this past April, toppling the highly regarded Gegard Mousasi for 5 rounds. Feijao enters this fight on a 2-fight win streak following a shocking loss to Mike Kyle in June of 2009.
The 205-pound category has been one of the most intriguing and profitable divisions in Western mixed martial arts, due to the name value associated with it. While star power may fluctuate between weight classes, the light heavyweight division has constantly produced some of the most dynamic fighters in the game. Names like Mauricio Hua, Lyoto Machida, Quinton Jackson, and Rashad Evans are often found in top 10 lists and considered the cream of the crop. But there is one fighter who in a short amount of time has proven to be a true force among 205-pounders.
Here is the undefeated and explosive rising star of MMA, King Mo!
Muhammed Lawal is an NCAA Division I wrestler who made a successful transition to mixed martial arts. With minimal experience, the Texas native found his path to victory by using his physical skill set,
Changing his levels and always getting that double leg takedown,
while at the same time using his personality to step into the limelight.
And you heard me say it, I don't give a damn. People say Mo cuss too much, Mousasi. I'm gonna stand over his zoom, zoom, bam. So to those that can't read, ask your mama.
While outside of the cage, Lawal is all fun and games.
How are you feeling, Hulk?
You know what, brother? Feeling great.
His performance in the cage and training sessions are the complete opposite, since he surrounds himself with some of the best partners in the sport.
I got Fabrizio to train with Nogueira. I'm just gonna have fun until fun training and work out new skills until I figure out what's next.
You're gonna give it through for a lot of guys. Whatever weight he going for light heavyweight, and welterweight. He's a machine. He's legit fight, and he likes to learn, and he has been learning a lot.
E ele vai fazer muito, vai dar muito o que falar, porque ele é muito bom. Ele é muito bom em pé, eu tô ajudando bastante ele também no chão agora no jiu-jitsu. E ele tem muita facilidade de aprender, já é lutador nato.
I'll tell you what, I know how to stop training with Mo. Mo's very heavy, very strong, and I'll tell you what, he's just tough, train hard, he's a smart fighter.
In only his 7th professional fight, Lawal sent shockwaves through the MMA world after toppling a fighter who many considered to be a prodigy.
Oh, beautiful guard pass attempt there by King Mo. And there's another takedown. A new Strikeforce World Light Heavyweight Champion, King Mo!
It's been a long journey, man. I finally got here. It's my first world title, man. It's something real.
After defeating a fighter the caliber of Gegard Mousasi to become Strikeforce light heavyweight champion, it became apparent that this grappler had become a sensation in the 205-pound division.
He's on the cutting edge of technique and application of his training and strength training and stuff like that. He's on the cutting edge right now.
With King Mo sitting atop Strikeforce's light heavyweight throne, the promotion now struggles to find challengers for the new champion, and Lawal may soon become the big fish in a small pond.
What are your thoughts? I know you've trained with Babalu about possibly fighting him.
That's my boy. I don't know about fighting him. I wouldn't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him, but we'll see what happens.
As a result, Strikeforce has been forced to manufacture opponents.
Raphael Feijao!
Rafael Feijao Cavalcante has been groomed for a title shot, but his journey to this spot has been a bumpy one. Product of Team Nogueira, Feijao is surrounded by some of the best fighters in the world.
I feel pressure in my coaches, Rogério Camões and Josué Destaques, and my partner trainers, Anderson Silva, Rodrigo Nogueira, Fábio Maldonado, and Minotauro.
This once highly touted light heavyweight seemed to have much promise upon his arrival in Strikeforce.
They don't call him the future of light heavyweight division for nothing. Feijao looking very impressive
Souza once again.
His debut loss to journeyman Mike Kyle left many pundits scratching their heads. After spending 6 months reassessing his situation, Cavalcante returned to his winning ways and pounded his way through the competition.
Right hand, and that's stunned Brit. Feijao, another right hand, he's down. He's out cold.
Heavy-handed Brazilian will now encounter the most difficult challenge of his career against a decorated wrestler whose will and determination seem unbreakable.
I train with the best guys in the world, and he has a tough guy, and I will prepare for the last fight for my life, you know.
But for the most part, a lot of guys, they don't got good baseline D, so I can take them down all day.
It has been proven that fighters with a solid wrestling base will often dictate the pace of a fight. And while Feijao has strong jiu-jitsu credentials, they could be nullified against the 3-time U.S. National Wrestling Champion. It is about where the champion's strength is the challenger's weakness, and the advantage does lay in the King's court. Though there's always a puncher's chance, it will be difficult to topple the Tsar, who hails from the Kingdom of Mayhem.
Robin Black joins us as we continue to break down Strikeforce Houston, and let's start with the main event. Robin, Muhammed Lawal making the first defense of his light heavyweight championship against Rafael Feijao Cavalcante, and it was Gegard Mousasi who found out firsthand the conditioning of Lawal and the evolution of his game.
King Mo Lawal is a beast, make no mistake about that. And Feijao's going to have a very, very difficult time with him. You know, Feijao can win off his back, conceivably, or he can win standing, but he's going to have a hard time doing either with Mo Lawal's wrestling.
Now, Feijao, were you somewhat surprised that he received this title opportunity, or does that give you a bit of a hint here at the depth problem at light heavyweight in the Strikeforce promotion?
Yeah, right now, I'm not sure there really is anybody to challenge King Mo at light heavyweight. You know, after beating Mousasi, I don't know who's left. Feijao's as good as anybody. He's a young up-and-comer. He's very exciting, but he's in over his head, I think.
We also know that Muhammed Lawal, he has not just been relying on his wrestling, which is top-notch at 205 right now, but also working on his stand-up skills and even throwing out the names Bernard Hopkins and Paul Williams as fighters he wants to emulate this Saturday night.
I think he could be talking nonsense. I mean, when you're a wrestler, you want the other guy to be thinking about your striking. You want him to be ready to deal with it, but don't be surprised to see King Mo just drive right through him and take him down.
Your prediction, Robin, for Saturday night?
I got to say King Mo wins this one inside of the distance, probably inside of the end of the third round.
A new middleweight champion will be crowned on Saturday night in Houston, with Tim Kennedy taking on Ronaldo Jacare Souza, with both holding identical records of 12-2 heading into their bout. The vacant title came as a result of former champion Jake Shields signing with the UFC and leaving the championship without a holder. Both men have been putting the 185-pound division on notice, with Jacare impressing onlookers with his submission defeat of Matt Lindland this past December and a follow-up decision over Joe Villasenor. Kennedy is coming off of a big win over South African Trevor Prangley this past June.
I think both of us have the tools to be dangerous, both on our feet and on the ground. You know, I think it's just going to be a 5-round exciting fight, and I'm not going to quit. You know, if I'm getting choked out, you're going to have to put me out. You know, this is a good fight. It's a big fight, and I'm excited for it. So I don't think there's any one key to it. You know, I'm just not going to quit.
For former U.S. Special Forces sniper Tim Kennedy, mixed martial arts is a break from the violent realities of war.
When people refer to a cage fight as war, I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. You know, I kind of like pinch their cheek and be like, oh.
While mixed martial arts is the most physically demanding sport in the world, it's a walk in the park for Kennedy, who has overcome tremendous obstacles on the battlefield.
At the point when the PKM started going off and the RPGs started slamming into the trucks and watching that Humvee get exploded and rocked up on top of us, I was pretty sure we weren't going to make it out of there. Every advantage the Taliban had, and I was just like, I'm not going to see my wife or my kids again, and so that was scary.
Kennedy's time in the military has given him an unmatched ability to concentrate and remain focused on his goals. In this case, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become a champion.
I love fighting, so as I'm walking towards the cage, just this peace, this confidence, all I see is that guy standing across from me. You know, the subtleties of his movement, the way that he's breathing, you know, the way that he's leaning when he throws his punches, you know, being able to pick up on absolutely everything. No, I don't think that I would be in a position to fight for the Strikeforce middleweight title if I hadn't been in the military. Dedication, perseverance, and discipline, all of which was taught to me in the military, has given me all of the tools I really need to be successful. The first week of my Special Forces ODA, Operational Detachment Alpha, they went for a run, and I couldn't keep up. And at the end of it, we went and shot, and I'm a really good shot, and they all outshot me. So I dedicated myself to making sure that under every single circumstance, regardless of the environmental conditions, I could be able to perform until everybody else fell over dead. I'm never going to be that guy when the building's burning that can't pick his buddy up and carry him out. I'm not going to be that guy. The bell sounds and you've paid a ticket to come in to watch me fight, and I gas at 6 minutes. I'm not going to be that guy.
With a 12-2 record as a professional, Kennedy has decimated all competitions since joining Strikeforce, forcing all 3 of his opponents to tap out.
There's been a tap and Kennedy submits Franklin. Remember the name Tim Kennedy when talking about possible title contenders in the middleweight division.
Now at the physical peak of his career, the well-rounded Kennedy believes his conditioning and overall athleticism will be the difference maker on Saturday night.
Here at CTC, we see some of the best athletes in the world. We train guys from the Jets, we train guys Major League Baseball, NFL, you name it. I've never seen anybody at that level, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been Pat's place, Randy's place, Vanderlei's place, Jackson's, been all over. Working out with him, he's a freak of nature, that's how we describe it.
It's his work ethic that actually gets him to where he's at. I met Tim when he was going through Special Forces qualification course. He's one of those guys that I've never seen him get tired.
He's always in the gym. I mean, I don't know a lot of guys who do 3 a day.
For every ounce of athleticism Kennedy will bring to the cage on Saturday night, the fast-rising Ronaldo Jacare Souza will be ready for what's in store.
And it's over! Jacare wins via first-round submission, making it look oh so easy. Remember the name, Jacare!
Age 30, Jacare is one of the most decorated grapplers in MMA history, holding black belt ranks in both judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. The former Abu Dhabi champion has seamlessly transitioned to mixed martial arts, and the list of quality victims continues to grow. First Jason Miller, then Matt Lindland, and most recently Joey Villasenor. With an all-star cast of training partners that includes Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, the Nogueira brothers, and headliner Raphael Feijao, the supremely talented Brazilian will be well prepared for Kennedy's relentless pace. With training now out of the way, these two warriors can put themselves on the map as viable top 10 middleweights with a victory on Saturday night. Whoever seizes the opportunity will emerge as middleweight champion. Will it be the American Patriot or the Brazilian grappling guru? Robin, Jake Shields is gone, and that means a new middleweight champion is going to be crowned. Originally, they were talking about doing a big tournament to crown the middleweight champion, because this is one of the deepest divisions Strikeforce has at 185. Are you a fan of the tournament format, or do you like this, putting together a singles bout and immediately crowning a champion?
Well, a tournament is very exciting, and everybody likes the theory of a tournament. I just don't know in practice if it always works. You get injuries, you get guys who aren't able to compete at certain times, so it's very difficult to do. So it's great in theory, but in actual fact, I don't know if it's the way you want to go. And you're right, the 185 division is very deep, especially compared to the light heavyweight division. And that's why I kind of question if these are really the two right guys to put in there right now, but it is an exciting fight.
Ronaldo Jacare Souza made his Strikeforce debut in 2009, an impressive submission victory over Matt Lindland, a silver medalist in wrestling at the 2000 Games, and then another victory over Joe Villasenor earlier this year. This guy, one of the best submission artists in the entire industry.
Yeah, he's not only one of the best submission guys, but he's one of the best submission guys for mixed martial arts. He's a very talented fighter, and he's very tough to deal with on the ground, but his striking is also good, and he's a great athlete. So he is a very serious threat at 185, and very likely to win this belt, I think.
Explain a little about, in terms of his submission game and putting it towards mixed martial arts as opposed to the grapplers we see out there and trying to make it work in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, so often you'll take these guys who are great jiu-jitsu guys in the gym or great in jiu-jitsu competitions, but you put them in an MMA fight where they're getting punched, where they're getting wrestled with, where they're getting taken care of from the top, and they have a very difficult time doing it. But that's not the case with Jacare. This guy can submit you off his back at any time during any fight.
Tim Kennedy will be meeting Jacare on Saturday night, and Kennedy is a guy I think is very underrated at 185. We just saw in his last fight with Trevor Prangley, who is a guy that maybe flies under a lot of people's radar, but very, very difficult to stop this guy. And I think Tim Kennedy, could have a surprise showing on Saturday night.
I think Tim Kennedy's a good fighter. I just don't think he's at the upper echelon yet like Jacare is. And it's interesting that he's the guy fighting for the title when you've got Kung Lee, you've got Dan Henderson, you've got so many good guys at 185. But, it's a great opportunity for him. And if he's going to win this fight, I think he's going to have to try to win it on the feet.
You listed a number of them there. No shortage of challengers for whoever leaves with the championship this Saturday night. Who will that be, and how will they win Saturday?
Yeah, I got to say Jacare is going to win by submission. It'll be a very exciting submission, and it'll be very impressive, possibly in the first round.
In lightweight action at Strikeforce Houston, 9-2 King Carl K.J. Nunes will take on the 13-6 Jorge Gurgel. Gurgel enters this bout having lost 3 of his last 4 and is in a position where a W on his record is necessary to stay afloat in the division. Since his 2-year hiatus, Nunes has returned to form with wins this year over Andre Dida Amato and this past June securing a split decision over Connor Hune in a highly entertaining showcase. This is going to be an entertaining lightweight bout, Robin. We have Jorge Gurgel, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but someone who always loves to stand and trade, and you know that's what KJ Nunes is going to want to do in this fight.
Yeah, this has got to be the fight of the night. It's the one I'm most excited to see. I expect Gurgel to do what he always does, and that's stand and fight. I think that's a terrible idea against KJ Nunes.
It's really surprising that this guy, he doesn't like to work off of his back, and he's in a position now in this fight where a win is necessary for him to stay relevant at the 155 division.
Yeah, you make a great point. I mean, he needs a win so badly that maybe we will see him use his submission game and his jiu-jitsu game, but I would not be surprised to just see him stand in there and throw punches with KJ Nunes.
KJ Nunes took a sabbatical from mixed martial arts, returning earlier this year with a win over Andre Dida Amato, and then we saw him against Connor Hune back in June. This is a guy, superlative stand-up skills, but we did see Connor Hune really test him in Los Angeles.
It's true. KJ Nunes is a very exciting fighter. He's somebody to keep an eye on, and when he's focused on mixed martial arts, he's very tough to deal with. He has a win over Nick Diaz. I mean, this guy is a serious boxer, and he's very skilled, and he's very talented. I'm excited about this fight, and you know, I'd like to see a KJ Nunes knockout, but it could go either way.
We're going to put you on the hot seat, though. Who's taking this?
I'm going to go with KJ Nunes by knockout.
The next chapter in the career of heavyweight prospect Bobby Lashley will be written on Saturday night when the 5-0 wrestler meets 8-1 Chad Griggs. With injuries hampering his fight time, Lashley has only fought once in the past 14 months. However, Griggs will himself be rusty, having only fought once in the past 33 months. Robin, we have a heavyweight bout here between former WWE professional wrestler Bobby Lashley and Chad Griggs. I understand they're trying to bring Lashley along slowly, but we're going at a snail's pace here for this guy. Chad Griggs has had one fight in the last 33 months, and to me, this isn't really improving upon his skills and testing him on an elite level such as Strikeforce, and Chad Griggs is really just being put in front of this guy.
Yeah, no question about it. This is just one more patsy for Bobby Lashley. And, you know, the hardcore fans are getting tired of him, and the people that, you know, came from wrestling, they'd like to see him fight somebody serious, and I don't think this is that fight.
One of the fights that was thrown out was potentially Shane Del Rosario, who apparently Lashley's camp has turned down. And for me right now, if this guy is fighting on a national promotion, Strikeforce is paying him a lot of money, we expect a lot more than Chad Griggs right now. And the next rumored fight, Dave Bautista, yes, that's going to have a lot of marketing potential, but for Lashley's camp, are these fights that are really improving his game?
Yeah, Lashley's playing it way too careful, but I don't know if he is ready for Del Rosario. You know, he just, I don't know if he can deal with somebody of that talent level. Now, Bautista, that's an exciting fight for the industry. People love these kind of fights that bring over different viewers. It's good if you're an MMA fan. It's good if you work in the MMA business. But again, it's not really a test for Bobby Lashley.
It's a hell of a fight if they're returning to network television and need a draw. But Saturday night, we've got Chad Griggs. Any chance of an upset? How is this one ending?
This one is ending with Bobby Lashley on top, smashing Chad Griggs.
Hopefully we get a good performance out of Bobby Lashley. It's Strikeforce Houston coming from the Toyota Center this coming Saturday night. I want to thank all of you for joining us, our entire crew here at the Fight Network, our friends at Extreme Couture Canada. He's Robin Black, I'm John Pollock. Enjoy the fights this Saturday night.